Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, January 6, 2022. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is again promising tough action on illegal firearms in the country. Mr. Holness made the pledge while lamenting the recent spate of killings on the island, including the shooting deaths of two brothers in Westmoreland and a 10-year-old in central Kingston.
We are strong on this, and our administration is bringing this bill to Parliament, and I am expecting the full support of the Parliament in passing the legislation to show that Jamaica in our 60th year will remove from our society illegal guns and other weapons.
Up to January 5, 9 persons have been murdered by an illegal gun. To complement a new firearms bill, Mr. Holness says government will be addressing the constitutional issues surrounding the state of emergency legislation. In other news, the Prime Minister is urging personal and familial responsibility in protecting the health of Jamaicans as the country manages the COVID-19 pandemic. He was speaking on Wednesday during the annual Heal the Family, Heal the Nation prayer service put on by the Power of Faith Ministries in Portmore, St. Catherine. Mr. Holness reminded citizens that government strategy had shifted from general shielding measures and was focused on learning to live with the coronavirus. As of December 31, the work-from-home order for public sector workers is no longer mandatory, and all schools have been instructed to resume face-to-face learning. There has also been a gradual reopening of the economy, with relaxed measures governing movement, curfews, and the gathering limits at certain events and functions.
We cannot continue to trade off the future for this current state of the pandemic. I believe we have managed it well. People are well informed. People know what to do. Vaccines are available. You know what to do.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education is continuing its vaccination of students to achieve the target of inoculating 65% of the school population. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says the number at the end of December was 32%, with up to 200 vaccination blitzes conducted across secondary schools. While urging Jamaicans to get vaccinated against COVID-19, the minister says parents and adults generally should also emulate students who have been adhering to the COVID-19 protocols.
And I think our children get it. When I see them in schools and even outside of schools, they get it. They get the mask wearing, they get the hand washing, they get the physical distancing. And it's incumbent on us as adults and as parents to follow their lead, to protect ourselves, to protect them, and to get the vaccines. The truth of the matter is we can end this pandemic. We know how. It's within our reach to do so. But we have to do those things that will cause it to end, and one of those is to become vaccinated.
Still on COVID, the World Health Organization, WHO's Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, is expressing optimism that the pandemic will end this year. WHO's Director General made that assertion in a statement on Friday. He says this will need all countries working together to end inequity and lower the risk of the virus evolving.
Narrow nationalism and vaccine hoarding by some countries have undermined equity and created the ideal conditions for the emergence of the Omicron variant. If we end inequity, we end the pandemic. As we enter the third year of this pandemic, I'm confident that this will be the year we end it.
Dr. Ghebreyesus points out that there are many new tools to prevent and treat COVID-19 and has called on countries to work together to reach the global target of vaccinating 70% of the people by mid-2022. And finally, the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, NRCA, has approved the release of 1,324 hectares of land in St. Ann to Noranda Jamaica Bauxite Partners for mining. CEO of the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, Peter Knight, made the disclosure during a virtual stakeholder briefing on Monday. He explains that Noranda's environmental permit application was initially for 8,335 hectares across St. Ann and Trelawney, but the lands that have been approved are confined to a limited geographical area. Mr. Knight says an area totaling 891 hectares was clawed back, thereby reducing the size of the Special Mining Lease, SML, available for mining to 6,183 hectares. Of that area, 1,324 hectares, located exclusively in St. Anne, was released and excludes the district of Madras and the school environs.
The geographical area is the most disturbed area in the SML, and in fact, the area overlaps with the study area where the most detailed assessments were carried out by the consultants, thus allowing for this informed decision. The area primarily consists of secondary forests and fields, no disturbed broadleaf forest. Vegetation cover will be impacted in the geographical area release.
Mr. Knight says Naranda has proposed mining in 5-year cycles. The geographical area approved was included in the 2020 to 2024 Phase 1 cycle and is described in detail in the Environmental Impact Assessment Report. Additional studies are to be done to inform the renewal of the environmental permit and for any future applications for lands outside the area released. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.